Hey, do you ever get the feeling that something is wrong? It could come through as depression, or be called being bipolar, or manic, or schizophrenic, or stressed. The truth is, I think there's awareness. This awakening you may have heard about, I believe there is an awakening going on. And I don't think it has anything to do with the seeds of stars. But I believe that our very important beings that we are beneath our flesh, that part of us that disappears and cannot be captured when we die as we lose a certain amount of weight, passing in death, that isn't air or gas, but our being is very special and timeless and left in the dark right now and has been for some time. It's trying to tell us something. We're trying to tell ourselves something all the time. I'm getting the message from me. We're pulling away from life a lot. For example, not wanting to die. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying want to die. I'm saying, why would you want to live beyond your limits through time in which your quality of life is so very bad that there is only pain, suffering, and the feeling of loss when you're around others, your family, because they know it's only a matter of time, and perhaps you should have been gone already. But due to surgeries and pills and much money invested in technology, you may still be living. Well, I want to draw attention to free will and to Mona Lisa. To me, what makes Mona Lisa so beautiful is that she figured out a secret to be satisfied, to come to the point of when someone says, more, she says, no, leave some. We don't have to take everything. We don't have to do everything. We don't have to live every second as long as we can, regardless of, the price or the cost. I think a life well lived is satisfying like a good meal. And when you're satisfied, there's nothing, you need not say more, you know? And as far as heaven goes, I don't want to go to heaven because I don't want to live. I don't want to disrespect my life or my death. I don't want to disrespect my life and take from my life. Oh, all that I want to do now, things, I just can't wait to get to heaven. I never think like that. Ever. This is my life. How amazing is it that I live? Life is such a gift. But no one gave you this gift of life. Your parents. None other. I kind of have to smite the smiter, so to speak, right now because, well, let's put it this way. Have you ever been in a situation that you had everything you wanted when you wanted it? Like maybe in a relationship, the guy who was just all about you, who just, wanted to touch you and hold you and talk to you, all the time and sent messages and let you know, what time he would be home and all this. But I have witnessed women in this situation, and it's like, wow, but they do them wrong. The ladies end up doing wrong. I admit, because I've seen it, I know. I'm not going to say every time, and I'm not going to say this is just how it is, but I am going to say that I've witnessed that happen. And it just so happened that it was, the woman that said, I'll make you wish you never met me if you don't leave right now. But she said it almost plainly. You see, when we get everything we want, we lose something. We start to lose gratitude and the understanding of significance and importance of all that we have. So if you go to heaven and you want not, because as you want, you receive all. Whatever will you do to entertain yourself in? Since this world is so hung up on entertainment. Well, I mean, for me, I don't want heaven. I don't want things to be perfect. In fact, if I did have to do something after life, I would hope that I would have a works to do, not observe, or I don't know. Let's just say I can totally see war happening if there were a heaven in it. Because, well, first of all, were that true, the individual who made the one who was turned on him made him do it. Because that's what ultimate power is. Knew what was going to happen. And for that reason, gave them the foresight, the ability, the difference between discernment and wisdom in the first place. Maybe they were bored with paradise, and so they created man. Maybe they aren't real. For me, I'm not going to worry about them anymore, because I turned to them in a time of need, in faith and hope. And the more that I reached out, the worse the attack came to me. And when I say attack, I mean I have been poisoned. I mean I have guzzled like 5 big gulps of steaming, hot, thick salt water, and had to push and give myself the Heimlich on the kitchen counter before the gas in my stomach would release it all, and before I could vomit what was in my stomach out. And after filling up the sink with hot, extremely thick salt water, finally a lump of neon green goo came out. Long after my salad, long after a lot of salt water, finally that came out. Whatever it was, when I took a drink of water, it was like gas in my stomach. It just began to build and continue to build, but I could not belch. And I needed to belch, and I could not belch, and it just continued to grow and get bigger and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and hurt. And so that's when I started drinking the salt water, because I knew I had to get whatever's in there has to come out. Not just that, I've been pushed off the road, going over 55 miles an hour without the steering wheel. The steering wheel never turned. I have been held down and sexually assaulted in the middle of the night by what looked like currents of electricity. I know that sounds crazy, but that would happen. I have watched the prints in my Bible change. But you know what? I'm not going to give any more glory to the devil by even speaking about it. I'm just here to say, to start something different without him. Because from what I see, everyone's hurting and no one's coming. Or they would be here. If they cared, they couldn't sit in another place and watch and observe the hardship and the horror that goes on in this world and to our people and to our children and do nothing. Anyone who can do that is certainly unworthy of leadership. So I'm away from that. So, all right, so said so a lot, didn't I? I used to sew for a living. Now I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to give up. And I'm not crazy. I'm not disabled. And this is not a prayer, and I'm not praying to that one, but I would like to say something. Odrevi hadra sumova daria hadra kudoro yavadaran. Anos grebe hadele kudoro vaba aklisi. Akli dividoro yabara hadra doa. Asmoro doro yava pasowa ahiagare doro yava eklenen. Enhedlo doro vasowa vakere. Siyakla hedel boro yava akra talaya akromosum biatra patrika de veden. Odrosi vikatra pavria. Odulu domovry bez sikurty ja patalo tutulo suvuklupa. Samover boboria vasim. So if you can translate, please do. I have no idea to language or content. I just speak from my chest. Thanks. See you next time.